I think so too. This one, you have options. Children don't like options. They like to be told what to do, in my opinion. And this one, you could do a base of 4 or you could do a base of 2. What jumps out at you? Do you see a base of 4 or do you see a base of 2? 4, okay. So 64 is 4 to the what? And 16 is 4 to the 2. I like to just put this off to the side so I can see where my work came from. So 4 to the 3. And then this goes in parentheses for the distributive property. Cancel, cancel. Distribute. Negative divided by negative is positive. Okay. Any questions there? So remember, if you have a binomial in your exponent, put it in parentheses so you can distribute is the key right there in that one. Okay. Come on down to number 8. What shape is this guy? Sleeping parabola, which is good because that was a quiz topic, was a sleeping parabola. Okay, and this one, you have to be really careful with the vertex. This is H and this is K. So the vertex is 6, comma, -5. So don't switch the sign because it's outside, switch the sign because it's inside. Okay, now this one has an A value of -1, which means that I get to use the A equals 1 trick. Do you guys know the A equals 1 trick? Over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, except that when it's negative, it's not going to open this way, it's going to open this way. So turn your paper 90 degrees this way instead. Over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, over 3, up 9. Okay, now to describe. The negative would normally be reflect across the x-axis. What is it for sleeping? Yeah. Okay, then shift right. 6. Shift down 5. Okay. Alrighty. Now can you guys find your quiz review, please? While we're in the packet. Are there any questions that you have for me from the quiz review? 2. Shot. Okay. 64 is 4 to the 3. And then, do you have it from there? Anything else? Take a look at it. What? Oh, sure. I'm gonna do 3. Yes. Okay, but okay. So this is what I like to do. I like to make this that first. Does that make sense so far? I like to do it in 2 steps just for your understanding purposes. Okay, so first, and then move him upstairs. Once you do enough of these, you'll be able to go from here to here in 1 step. But at first, it's kind of best to write this in the same base and then show your arrow of moving it upstairs. You got it from there? Yeah. Okay, just while we're on the topic, 4. What's the base for 4? 5. Okay, so this guy would be 5 squared, 5 cubed. And then don't forget about distributing. Is that better? Okay. Anything else? Okay, so I want to note something on this, on number 5. Do you see that this is a line? Okay, and looking at the answer key, this is the inverse. It's not in slope-intercept form because the directions didn't say you had to. So I just want you to keep your eyes peeled like SpongeBob for when it says slope-intercept form, just so you get that full credit. That's all. The whole purpose of that was just for you to keep your eyes out for it. It doesn't always have to be left like that. It's just when I ask for it. And why do you think it would be a good idea? Does anyone can anyone think about why I would ask you to do that? Like, what would be the point? If I can just flip this and find the table, what would be the point of asking for slope intercept? So you could check your answer. Exactly. So you can go, oh, am I up 2.5? Yes. Am I down 2/1? Yes. It's just a verification technique. Anyway, okay. Anything else on the quiz review before we work on today's? And you can ask me after if you want to. Okay, so we're done with the packet. Tonight's homework is digital escape about inverses. It's well, it's easy. Okay. All right. Notebook time. Today is the last day of regular inverses. Last day. Yeah, so we're gonna do special inverses starting tomorrow. We're gonna learn something new that you don't actually know already. I know, it's crazy. Again, I'm gonna use my 3 colors and my straight edge. Okay, so on this first one, there's no direction. But what I want to do is practice the slope intercept thing. So I want to write the steps, write the inverse steps, write the inverse, and then just practice putting it into slope intercept. That's all I want to do with this one. Okay, so step one is times 6. If I were to plug something in for x, I would times 6 first. Then I would subtract 11. Okay, undo that first by adding 11. Then undo that by dividing by 6. Y inverse equals, okay, so every time we write an inverse, we start with an x. Add 11. Divide by 6 on everything. On everything. Okay, now I have to divide both of these things by 6, and I want it to look like slope intercept form. So I'm going to put a 1 in here that we don't normally write and make this 1/6 x plus 11/6. That's slope intercept form. Y inverse equals 1/6 x plus 11/6. Okay, again, you don't have to do that every time, just if the directions ask for it. But I just want you to be prepared for everything. On everything, be prepared. Okay, do you feel better about that now? Okay, I don't want to spring things on you. I'm gonna be a jerk. Okay. Now let's do something that's not a lie. Okay, so the goal for these is graph them with a table. Write the inverse function, domain and range, just the usual. Okay, what shape is this guy here? Cubic. Okay, and so his inverse should be a cube root, right? Okay, now next question. What is the locator point called for a cubic? Anybody remember? Yes. Inflection point. Excellent. Okay, I don't care if you remember that or not. I just need you to know that something happens at 1, 0. Can you guys all see the 1, 0? Okay, so 1, 0 is going to go in the middle. If you remember that it's called inflection point, awesome. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 cubed is 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, and this is not going to be 2. Don't put a 2 here. Do you know what it is, though? -2. Okay, 3 minus 1, 2. 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16. We probably won't graph that, but we'll use it just to make sure that we're going in the right direction. Okay, so 1, 0 is here. 0, -2, 2, 2. Okay, so when you come up through here, remember that the inflection point has this flat part. And what's the best thing about cubics? I mean, that's true. Let me give you a hint. What? It's all real numbers for both every time, no matter what. Okay, now let's figure out our cube root. Here's a fun question on your entrance ticket that you did today, which isn't really a thing. Did you use proper inverse notation? Did you put F inverse of X on there? Yeah, can't draw these. Oh man, you guys should have seen the circle I made in the warm-ups yesterday in sixth period. It's like my crowning moment of teaching. It's just very circly circle. Okay. What's the best thing about a cube root graph? Yeah, domain and range are all real numbers still, which you can get from the fact that it's a cube root, or you can get from the fact that it's flipped. Okay, so now we're going to find the equation. So I'm going to follow order of operations here. Okay, so parentheses first. Step 1 is -1. Then exponents. Then multiply. Okay, so undo that first. Undo that. So undoing a cubed is a cube root. You do not need to worry about plus or minus on there. You don't need to worry about it anytime it's an odd power or odd root. Doesn't matter. Because you got the whole graph, if you notice. +1. Okay, last thing on this, F inverse of X. How much stuff is going to be in the front? Just one thing, just the cube root. So X over 2, cube root on everything, +1 on everything. Okay, where are you at? Do you think you could do this whole problem yourself? The cube roots are easier. You don't have to remember the plus or minus. The domain and range is just all reals. Drawing it, not great, not my favorite. Mental math might be the hardest part. I don't know. I'm gonna give people a second before we move on. This one technically is number 40, and this one's technically number 41. I just put it all into one thing. Okay, let's get back on the ride and go again. This is the last one of these we're gonna do. Okay, what shape is this guy? A parabola with a vertex of 3, 2. Okay, 4 minus 3 is 1 squared is 1 plus 2 is 3. I really don't even need to make a table. I just want the table for the inverse because I have the a equals 1 trick I could use. But anyway, 5 minus 3 is 2 squared. 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay. Parabola, positive a value. The domain is all reals. And the range is y is greater than or equal to k. What's k in this problem? 2. Okay, anybody want to ask anything at this moment? Clarification of any type? We're good? Okay. Is that shape shocking? Nope. What's happening? Your adorable highlighter. Okay. Now, what is the domain going to be of the inverse? This is greater than or equal to 2. And then this guy comes down here. Great. All right, we are almost done. Just need to find the actual inverse. Okay. Step 1, parentheses, -3. Step 2, square. Sean, I'm still maintaining that I want you on in my group for the team test. Okay. And then plus or minus square root. Don't forget that that's a thing. Okay, so plus or minus square root is going to be in front. So I just leave some space. -2 first. Plus or minus square root on everything. +3 on everything. I find that so satisfying. And then I taught you how to cheat yesterday. If you were on the actual test, you could cheat by putting this in the graphing calculator, this in with the plus, this in with the minus, putting zoom square, and then checking to make sure that it actually looks right. You don't get that luxury on the quiz, though. Okay. Flip the page over when you're ready or find some new space. You're going to see these two equations in the next problem. What? They should be. We just found them. Oh, well, you're not, that would be giving it away. So, as you're writing, I don't know if you guys looked ahead, there are some students in my 6th period that have gone absolutely bonkers. They're done with the mid-chapter review. They're done with the review assignment. They did the review notes without me. I don't even know what happened. It's become this weird competition thing where they're trying to finish the whole packet. I don't, as wonderful as that is, I was never like that. And this is what I do for a living. So don't feel like, that's necessary behavior. They're just hilarious. Anyway, if you look at the review assignment and the review note in your packet, there are some problems that have this as the directions instead of find the inverse. So it actually might be, is it in the mid chapter also? Yeah, okay. So it looks like this. State if these are inverses. Okay, what you're supposed to do is take the 2 and figure out, they already gave you 2, and you're supposed to figure out if this is the inverse of this guy and if this is the inverse of this guy. And I want to tell you that there's 3 methods to complete that, and you get to pick your favorite. Okay, the first. Find the inverse of one of them and see if it matches the other. You're like, duh, isn't that actually how you probably wanted me to do the problem? Yes, but I'm appealing to you that you don't actually have to do all that work. That would be the long method. So list out the steps, list out the inverse steps, find the inverse, see if this guy is the inverse of this guy. Great. That's probably how you should do it. But I'm telling you, there's an easier way. Graph both. These are kind of cheat ways. Graph both of them and see if they're reflecting on the line y equals x. Now, I highly suggest if you do that on the graphing calculator that you do the zoom square so you can really see if it's the actual reflection. Or, this is really cheating, you could look at both of their tables and see if the tables are flips of each other. Super cheat right there. That's a massive cheat. Okay, or I'm going to appeal to you that I like to use my favorite way, which is called the stacked function machine method. However, if you use the stacked function machine method, you just have to be careful of the domain. And what I mean by that is if you plug a number into the root, it has to actually like work. Like it's not going to be imaginary, I'm saying. Okay, let me show you what I mean by the stacked function machine method for these. So what I'm saying is pick a number. I don't know. The easiest number I could think of is 0. You have to be careful with 0 because 0 ruins the domain sometimes, but I use 0 when I can and plug it into the original. And get an answer. Okay. Then plug your answer into the other one and see if you get your original number back. Check. That's the stack function machine method. Plug a number in, get an output, take your output, plug it into the other guy, and see if you get your original input back. If you do, then that first one was the coordinate 0, 11, and the second one was the coordinate 11, 0, and the tables are flipped. Okay, I want you guys to try the stacked function machine method on number 43A. Yes. And then we're done. Use 0. It's super easy. It's not bad at all, I promise. If any of you like to guess the people who are way ahead on the packet, you can.
Walter, one of them.
One of them has hair just like mine. And wears fun snack shirts every day. Did you get it? So let's see, f of 0. It works? Okay, now there's actually an answer. So great, your check mark's awesome. There's a yes or no that needs to be answered in the problem. If I got anything other than 0 back out here, it would be no. Yay, we did it.